Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom. And in this video we're going to continue our trek through Prince Edward Island and the world of Anne Shirley. So this is the second book, and yes, it's shining. So this is Anne of Avonlea. This is the second book in the series. Now this book picks up pretty close to where Anne of Green Gables left off. Anne is about to start teaching at Avonlea School, where she had graduated from a year or so prior. Because again, she left and went to got her teaching credential at Queen's College in Charlotte. So, but then, even though she was planning to go away to continue school, Matthew died, and Morella was going blind. So she chose to stay behind and teach and save up money to go to college in Nova Scotia. And two of the other two people who stayed behind are Gilbert Blythe, who actually switched places with her, if you remember. So he's teaching, I think, in White Sands. I could be wrong. And then I think one of her other friends was also teaching let's see, who was it? 'Cause it's, let's see. All right. I can't remember who it was. But she was teaching somewhere else. So this covers this 3-year period. I think it's 3 years. Where between the ages of Anne being 16 and 18, where she's teaching at Avonlea School. Now, a lot happens during this time. One of the major things, besides her teaching and trying to win over some of her students, is Morella's, I think it's her cousin, or her second cousin, passes away. And Morella takes on Davy and Dora, which are this cousin's, I believe, they're 5 or 6 year old children. The woman does in fact have a brother, but he's in Nova Scotia and can't come to get them. He does eventually die of consumption, also known as tuberculosis. So they stay on, but they're dealing with Davy and Dora, specifically Davy, who's kind of a rebellious kid. And so Anne and Morella are taking care of them. It covers a lot of his antics, Anne's troubles with school, her and her friends trying to improve Avonlea, their new neighbor, Mr. Harrison, who turns out not to be a bachelor, but to be married. You find out near the end. Her relationship with a woman by the name of Miss Lavender, who she's able to helpfully reunite with the beau that she broke off with because they had a mindless fight years ago, and he went off to the United States, married. His wife died when their child was very young, Davy, who comes and is actually a very sweet boy, and Anne really, it's one of her kindred spirits, and she introduces him to Miss Lavender. And then eventually the dad comes. Had been still in the United States. He comes back to Prince Edward Island. He hasn't been home in years. And they get married. That's kind of how the happy ending thing. The other thing that happens is Rachel's husband passes away, and Morella and Rachel decide that their farm is kind of underwater. So, and she doesn't want to leave Avonlea to go live with one of her daughters, because her other children have moved to a different part of the island. So, which, yes, is a decent, I mean, it's small, but it's still a decent size, particularly back then, when everything's by horse and buggy. So it would take several days for her to, and then of course she could always obviously take a train, but she didn't want to leave her community. She'd been in her community for a long time. So she ends up at the very end moving in with Morella to help take care of the twins, so Anne can go to school. And Gilbert leaves as well. They're both, so that's kind of how it ends. It ends with both Anne and Gilbert leaving. And then, of course, Anne's friend, who wants to be a teacher, is coming to take over Avonlea School. So she just kind of wants to come home. And Gilbert has decided he wants to go to medical school. You actually do not see a lot of Gilbert in this book, which is kind of interesting. I'm pretty sure we see more of him in Anne of the Island, because I think that's where they get engaged. I'm pretty positive that's where they get engaged, because then you have Anne of the Winnie Populars, and then Anne's, I don't know if it's Anne's House of Dreams or not. I can't remember. They eventually get married and have children. We will get there. But this is also, at the end of this book, Diana gets married to, gets engaged to Fred. I can't remember what his last name is. He's from their school. But, yes, let's see. Yawning here. So, let's see. Diana. Yes, Diana is engaged to Fred Wright is his name. So this is when she gets married. She's not going to, of course it's going to take, she's one of the higher class. Obviously she didn't go on to college. She's supposed to be a housewife and inherit wealth. So it's going to be a society wedding. So it's going to take I think they're saying they're not going to get married for another 3 years, because Fred wants to earn the money to pay back his father for his own farm kind of thing. So it's going to be a long engagement with those two. I'm not sure when she does get married. I think it might be, I don't know if she's before or after Anne. But we will see as we get through these books. Lord. Sorry, it's almost 8:30. And I'm filming this in July of 2023. So the temperatures outside here in Arizona have been about 113. So it's very, very hot despite the air conditioning in the house. We have gone out and about today. And I have by the time you guys see this, she'll be 4. In fact, at the end of the week, she'll be 4. So my kid's about to turn 4. Who's just insane. My daughter is very talkative and very exhausting, and I love her to death. So that's the end of this video. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe. I will be covering the rest of the Anne of Green Gables series, including the films by Sullivan, the Road to Avonlea TV series, and all the short stories. So I'm covering everything. I did an overview of the Animorphs series. Once Anne of Green Gables is done, I'm going into Boxcar Children, and then I'm doing Wings of Fire. So if you're looking for other stuff that I do besides the series and the film reviews, February I covered Black History Month. January I covered a few different episodes on advanced crafts. We're talking swords and glass making and stuff like that. I'm covering women's history in March. I'm covering the Titanic in April. May I'm covering Angel Island and Asian history. June I'm covering Ellis Island and the history there. Women's inventors are coming in July. Cooking is in August. I'm doing a deep dive into Beauty and the Beast, which is certainly my daughter's favorite princess as of right now. She likes yellow, thus Belle, in the bright yellow dress. That's why she likes her. She also likes Ariel, the Little Mermaid. We're mixing Peppa Pig and Disney princesses right now. Moving on. So October I'm covering space. November I'm covering the Hindu festival of Diwali, and I'm doing mysteries in December. So that is the lineup. If you want to check that out, you can also check out my previous videos. I've done Black History Month, I've done Irish History Month, I've done Asian History Month, I've done a bunch of stuff. So you can check out my whole collection there if you want more videos to watch while you're waiting on the rest of the Anne of Green Gables series. So like and subscribe, leave a positive comment if you have one, and thank you.